Greetings, I'm Zorch. Welcome to day 7 of me playing through Snowdonia. I'm playing through every Snowdonia scenario there is, one after the other. And today I am playing the Necropolis Railway scenario. There are a few differences to the main scenario. There's a couple of contract cards that we took out from the base and then added a few in that are specific just to this scenario. There's a few things that are different with the weather. Events, whenever resolving a weather, always dig out at 2 and place track at 1, no matter what this track is on. The scenario came with a couple of new track cards, which I've included. There's a 0 value, a 6, and a 7, which I put in randomly. I suppose the most important difference about this scenario is the fact that the surveyor is dead. So we're going to actually have to transport him to the last station and then inter him. And we do that by digging out one of these spaces and then building a monument for him. And if we do that, we don't lose points at the end of the game. There's a couple of interesting spots out on the stations. There's a place over here to get an extra worker if you pay an iron bar. And then, of course, there's a few spaces where you can pay an iron bar and end up with another track card for contracts. I'll be using the funeral train, which is the scenario-specific train for this particular scenario. And it lets me pay a coal to refresh an exhausted contract card. So that's pretty useful. I'm also going to be playing with the pea soup variant of the fog, which means that every time the fog comes out, it's going to build up and it won't go away until we get sunny weather again. So without any further ado, let's get started. The funeral train actually requires 2 coal to get my extra man, so I'm not going to be able to do that this turn. So, and since I know from past experience that it would be bad not to, I am definitely going to gather some goods. Oops, my surveyor fell off. Stay there, you're dead. I'm definitely not interested in any of these contracts. And since I've only got one other guy, I believe I will also gather with him, since digging doesn't seem like it would do me too much good. So I will just get a coal and 2 iron, and then basically everything. And now I bring you the weather. And our first draw also. And our first event. So, digging. And it is actually... Oop, wait, the work rate changed. I committed a series of oops, so I decided to roll back a little bit. There aren't supposed to be rubble on these 2 stations right here, so I just cleared that off. And, the work rate is always, for the game, going to be 2 dig actions. So instead of the 4 that I would normally lose, I will only lose these 2 track cards full of rubble. I think this turn I am going to be gathering resources and then grabbing this contract that's over here. So I will get these 2 iron and 1 iron and 2 rock. And then I will grab the big 40-point contract, which I will hopefully be able to finish, and then resolve the weather. It's our first scenario-specific contract here. So now we do our draw. Not bad, because the train event does nothing in this scenario. This seems like it would be a good opportunity to get a lot done, so I'm going to get my extra man from the pub. The funeral train requires 2 coal to do that. And I am going to gather some more resources. I'm going to convert some, and then I'm going to lay some track. And I will be grabbing this 1 rock and 2 more iron. Yes, I will. And then I will be converting these 6 iron into 2 bars here. And then I will lay some track. And the track rate is 1, so I can only do 1, but that's okay. So, that's our first track of the game. First ownership cube, too. Do the weather. Another scenario-specific contract there. No fog yet. Next we draw. And another event. The game lays 1 track, because that will be the maximum throughout the rest of the game. I am definitely gathering. And since it's so difficult for me to get my extra man, I think I am going to build onto a station this round. First, I will claim a coal certainly, and 2 iron. Then I will build into this station with this iron bar, and that will give me my extra man next turn. That's that special ability of that space right there. And of course, it'll give me 4 points at the end of the game, too. I think that'll be worth it. Back to the weather again. Another scenario-specific contract here. This requires 1 monument, 1 piece of track, and 6 rubble for 18 points, which is not bad. Now we reach into the bag. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do. I know I need to gather. I'm going to have to do that once, I guess, every turn. Otherwise, I'm going to really be behind the 8 ball in a hurry. I believe I will also be building. And I'm torn if I want to gather some more or if I want to dig. And I think I want to dig, so I will do that. So first off, I will grab 1 coal and 2 iron. Then I'm finally going to remember to activate this darn contract card to grab another coal and 1 more iron, which is good. Now I am going to dig out 4 pieces of rubble from this card, because that is what the work rate is at. And I am going to build onto this station here with 4 rock for 10 points. I think that's a good trade. Seemed like a satisfying turn. Don't know if it was, actually. So, no event. Good news. I've been forgetting my weather. I hope I'm remembering to adjust that. So, it's sunny again, and we've definitely got some rain on the way. Ugh, I need 1 more worker. Alright, I am going to spend 2 coal to get my extra man, and I am going to be gathering, converting, and digging, even though I would rather be laying tracks. So I will bring home 3 pieces of iron. I will dig out 4 pieces of rubble, and then I will convert these 9 iron into 3 iron bars. There we go. Ooh, I would have liked to have grabbed that one, but no luck. See how the weather does. Oh, our first fog. So first we have a rain, and then we're going to have some fog on the way. It'll be interesting to see if we get any more. Next we do our draw. Excellent. I stave off the event for yet another round. If I can keep doing that, that would be fantastic. Well, I know I'm laying track this turn, at the very least. The difficult decision is going to be what else I'm going to do. And I think I'm going to have to keep gathering resources to keep things under control. Plus, I'm going to need some coal, so I will do that. So, now we resolve. I will gather 1 coal and 2 stone. Next, I will lay 2 pieces of track, here and here. I'm happy about that. I love making those big moves where you can lay lots of track. That will end the turn. Oh, so we got more fog, so we're going to definitely see the pea soup in action shortly here. And it's going to be after a string of rain, too, which is not good for me. Next, we do our draw. Alright, excellent. No event. Well, I will be getting my extra man from the pub for 2 coal. I will be using him to dig. I should probably gather some more. I do like this contract over here. It would be good to have something that I can get more resources out. So I think I might just grab that. Although I'm really going to start thinking about moving my surveyor. If I don't get him up there by the end of the game, it's going to be a lot of points. But if I don't keep gathering resources, I'm going to be hurting bad. So I will definitely do that. So first off, I will gather a coal, a stone, and an iron. And then I will dig out only 2 this time. And finally, I will grab this contract. Yeah, definitely gonna have to move that surveyor. But first, some more interesting weather here. Oh man, don't be another fog. Okay, good. Alright, so that means I will lose access to this space and this space. I'll still be able to dig, but after the next turn, there's actually going to be multiple markers on these, and that'll be very bad. We do our draw. Getting very low again, disturbingly. I absolutely have to keep gathering resources. If I don't, I'm really going to be hurting. And I believe I will dig while the dig rate is still at 2. So I will take my customary 1 coal and 2 iron. Then I will dig out these 2 rubble pieces. And that'll be the end of the turn. On to the weather. And I need to shuffle, so I will do that. Alright, and it looks like we're going to have more rain. Some pretty nasty weather here. Alright, so now we've had our second fog, which means that now these are not going to go away for at least 2 turns of sun. They said it's more challenging, and I don't know if I really needed that. This draw is also going to be painful, so 3. Yeah, I'm going to empty the bag on this one. So there's our last 6. We get our last event, which is going to complete the station. That's that one done. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do. And I believe I'm going to start moving my surveyor. I'm going to gather some resources. I believe I will also pay 2 coal to gather again. And I'm going to move my surveyor. I am not going to get caught down at the bottom of the mountain. Second time, I'm going to take 1 less visit to the stockyard and 1 more visit to the works, so I can try to get some cubes back into that bag. So I will first gather up 3 iron, and then I will convert at the works these 6 cubes into 2 iron. You can't have too many of those. And I will finally move my surveyor 1 space. Alright, to the weather. Sun, yay! But it's going to be after a string of nasty showers. Now we move on to the draw. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, my wishes are not heeded. Well, could have been worse, I suppose. So, first, dig, and it's going to dig 2. So that would be all of these. And then I imagine I just skip that space completely and grab all of these. And then I have my train maintenance event, and thankfully I have an iron bar. I wasn't even paying attention to it, so that was just pure luck. Well, I'm going to try to keep gathering stuff, and I am also going to try to build this turn. And I will grab a coal and 2 iron. And then for my build action, I'm going to build into that 12-point stop right there for 3 rock. Back to the weather. Hope for some more sun. Excellent. That is good news, because we're going to need some sun. Especially if I ever want to lay track again. We have our track lay event, which will only lay 1, thankfully. And these guys all go back to the bag. I believe I am going to gather with both of these guys this turn. So I will grab a coal and 2 iron, plus another coal and 2 iron. That's both of these guys. And I will activate this contract to reach into the bag and draw some cubes out. And any white ones go right back in. So I get a rock and another iron. That might have been crazy, because now there's nothing but event cubes in there. Oh well. Moving on. Good, more sun. Alright, so the work rate goes back up. The cubes come off, which means that on the next sun, these fog spaces will finally have burnt off. Well, we know what we're going to get here. This first space, thankfully, due to the scenario, says that nothing happens, so there is no station completion event this time. However, the game will now dig out 2 cards worth of rubble. So that would be this one and this. And finally, it will lay 1 piece of track. These cubes all go back into the bag. I'm going to make use of all this coal I've got to get my extra worker. I know I want to move my surveyor. I know I want to gather resources. Now, it's this last one that I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with. I'm going to at least try to recycle some cubes, so I will go to the works. First, I will gather, and I'm going to gather 2 iron and 1 stone. Nope, 1 coal, so I can get at least 1 more worker. Then I will recycle these 9 into 3 iron bars. I'm going to be swimming in the darn things. And finally I will move my surveyor to the next station, and this is the long one, to Brookwood. Alright, on to the weather. Probably should score some more contracts. Just can't get everything done. So, uh-oh, the fog's going to come back. But for now, it finally goes away, and the work rate goes up, which is going to give me some things to think about. Well, I can think about them after the draw. So, 4, 6, 8, excellent. No events. Alright, I got some chewing to do now. Well, I'm certainly getting my extra man. And I think I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to build, not once, but 2 times. I do not want to break my back trying to get a 0-point track card. So instead, I will use my guys to build onto this place over here. That way the track can be laid by the game later and extend the game a little bit. So it looks like I will be gathering. And I will do that first. First, I will get a coal and 2 stone. Then I will be building with 1 rail into this 9-point space. Then I will build with another rail into one of these track spaces. I think the trick now is to get a lot of rock. Now we do our draw. Alright, 1 event. And it's the station build event, so nothing happens. I believe I will be scraping together some resources, as well as doing something else. I realized a while back when I moved my surveyor, I could have refreshed one of my contract cards and paid coal to do it. Oh well. Well, I believe I'll be building. So, first I will grab all-important coal, and then I will grab... I'm going to need more stone for sure, so 2 stone. Stick with my plan, and I'm going to build onto this space with 3 of my stone, and get that nice juicy 9 points. And that's the weather. Oh, we're going to have more fog soon. So, well, the good thing is the work rate will be up nice and high. Now we do our draw. Not too much to choose from in here. Didn't dodge the bullet that time. So, first, the last of the track is dug out. Actually, it would be this space, as well as the first one here. And then the game lays track, and you can have that. It's interesting, having that 7-point track there really makes it tempting, but I want to make the game last as long as possible. Lots of building actions if I can. I believe I will get my extra man, considering pretty soon I won't be able to do much with him if I don't. Well, maybe I can gather up some rock to prolong the game, but I'm definitely moving my surveyor while the moving is good. And I believe... It's interesting, I could end the game right now by laying the last 2 pieces of track, but I'm pretty sure that that would be shooting myself in the foot. Especially since I wouldn't have my surveyor, so yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. Well, I'm going to try to play the long game here and gather some more resources. And let's see what we do. We get, from this man, I'm going to get 1 coal, and what else would be wise? Rock is not going to help me too much more, unless I get 3. So I will. I will get, right, that's 2 rock. And another coal, and 2 more rock, since I don't think the iron is going to help me at this point. That's this guy finished. And now I'm moving my surveyor one time. I could use my train to activate this contract again. But then I would not get my extra worker. No, I don't think I'm going to do it. So, move to the weather. 2 scenario-specific contracts here. And we go on to the bag, which I think I have to empty it out. I do. Yep. Yes, I do. Yep, black and white. So, the coal goes in. So, nothing happens for the station. The game digs out the last 2 bits of rubble, which is interesting, because if I'm not mistaken, we get another build action now. And also, the game will lay 1 more piece of track, which sends all of these back to the bag. So, end game is in sight. I just gotta do some brain burning here. Well, I know I'm getting my extra man. That's an easy decision. Oops, you're supposed to be over here. Not moldering out in the middle of the rails. I didn't move my discs when I resolved the weather, and we're going to have a whole lot of fog. I suppose that's kind of fitting for the end of the game. So, no land track for me, and of course, actually, there is no more digging. And it looks like we're going to have no chance of laying track anyway. So that does simplify some of my decisions. Yeah, I really have no choices at this point. I definitely have to move my surveyor. I definitely have to build 2 times. And I may have planned things out appropriately. I guess we'll see. First, I will spend an iron bar, one of the many I still have left, to build into this track space, which will ensure that I get my contract fulfilled. Next, I am going to spend 2 stone to build a monument for my surveyor, and then I'm going to move him in to his final resting place. So yes, we're definitely creeping up on the end here. Alright, we're going to have more fog, and go to the bag, and I know what this is going to be already. Oh, maybe not. 5, 6. So yeah, interesting. It doesn't end the game just yet. So, we have another station built on. We have more excavation done, but there isn't any. Wow, interesting. Be more interesting still if I could still lay track, but I can't. So, for this turn, there's really not a whole lot that I can do. I am just going to build 2 times. The first one will be an iron bar to build in here for 6 points. And the second one will spend my last iron bar to build in here for no points, but hey, it's prestigious, I guess. The weather. No, I think it's a bit of a moot point now. Oh, and it's going to make me shuffle even. Alright, I'll do that. Hold on. Alright. So, more fog. And more fog. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be laying track anytime soon. Well, I'm not anyway. But the game definitely is. So, the last piece is laid, which triggers the final round, which means that I could do 1 more thing. But, frankly, I don't think there's much that I can do. Interesting. Yes, I can, in fact, grab 1 final contract. Oh, and again, we'll do the prestige thing. I am going to build this big 4 point, or well, actually it's not 4 points. It's completely worthless, but hey, it'll look nice, and I'll use up some of my ownership cues. And I will grab this 4-point contract, which I can actually fill. So, that's game end. Now I gotta score up my stuff. So, that's 50 points for my stations, 10 points for my track, 58 from these contracts, 0 from my train. It just dawned on me that the game may have actually gone on 1 turn longer than it should have. As soon as the surveyor moves into a interment site, you're supposed to place a marker onto the weather marker that round, and then whenever that marker gets to this spot, the game ends. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that means I stole an extra round or not. I guess we'll have to ask on the Geek and see what everybody else thinks. I'm pretty sure it's the same. It would have ended the same either way. But that is a total of 118 points. This is my first time playing this. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning or not, but I like it. It's fun. I like the pea soup variant is also with blocking off these spaces. I'm interested to see how that would work in a multiplayer game. I like the overall feel of it. I like having to get the surveyor up there, so you really feel like you have to. You feel guilty if you don't. Plus, of course, you know. Oh, actually, I do get an extra 6 points, don't I? I do. I get 6 points. So it's not 118. Actually, it looks like I get 6 points for each monument that I get. So, instead of 118, my grand total is 130, which is much better. Oh, well, heck, even if I'm not getting the rules absolutely right, I still really enjoy the scenario. I'll definitely play it again. I can't wait to get my wife to try it out. I think she'll enjoy it quite a bit. I really like the interplay between this really long stretch of track and this really high-value station over here that everybody has to scramble to get to, because none of the other stations will be built on, but that one definitely will be finished before the end of the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and I hope you found that it was educational. I hope you'll join me for my next one, and I will be playing the Neuhauser Brachlerbahn scenario. In the meantime, safe travels.